Cemeteries are no strangers to paranormal sightings, and the Oakland Cemetery didn't disappoint. Take a look.
Look at this guy right here. Look at him. Just people. I think this happens like every year around this time. It's so weird. It's like at a cemetery. And up here you have the Christmas carolers. Look at that. Beautiful. And then, being right behind me, let me watch my step here. Oh, give me 1 second. You guys can see that.
The video was taken at the Oakland Cemetery during the annual Victoria holiday. The uploader wanted to give a grand tour of this seemingly boring occasion, and he captured something strange that he didn't notice until he reviewed the clips days later.
Christmas carolers.
A ghostly figure seemed to have been watching him the whole time before it disappeared as he flipped the camera view. Sure, that could have been someone in Halloween makeup going about scaring people in broad daylight, but what if it was a wandering ghost of someone who was buried there? We'll let you decide.
During a late night train station patrol, one of the guards took a quick video. They thought nothing of it at the time, but when they watched the footage back, their blood ran cold. If you missed it, don't worry, it's pretty hard to spot, so let's slow it down and zoom in. What is that? Considering the description says it was 3:34 AM, the train wouldn't have been active and the doors would have been locked. There is always a chance they shoved a mannequin in the window or something, but they wouldn't even have access to the inside of the train at stupid o'clock. So, what do you think? A practical joke or a truly haunted train? Let us know.
When you spend a lot of time on your own, your mind can play a few tricks on you. You see things out of the corners of your eyes, sense presences that aren't there, and you manage to always find fear in the mundane, which is exactly what started happening to this guy. He began seeing some really weird stuff in his house. And whether or not this was ghosts throwing items and showing their faces in fireplaces, or him dropping his remote while he's half asleep and having a bad case of pareidolia, it still set him on edge, to the point that his friends started treating the house as a personal ghost tour. And oh boy, did he get the scare of his life. This obviously wasn't the work of any spirit, because in the video description, the guy explains that his friend had nodded off while he went to get ready. But what he didn't realise before he cozied up for a nap was that there was an alarm right above him. It was such a paranormal punch in the face that he could be a Mariah Carey tribute act. Although we can't drag him too hard, because right before this happened, he had been shown this video.
Read it again. Perfect. Wow. Read. Can you stop doing that, please? Stop doing that.
That's probably what set him so on edge. However, this might also be free of ghostly interference, because those sensor-based bins are a nightmare for anyone who owns one. One smudge on the sensor and it'll be opening and closing like no tomorrow for seemingly no reason. And there are quite logical explanations for all of these videos, but that doesn't change the fact that this guy and his poor mate genuinely believe the building is haunted. So we'll leave this one up to you. Real footage, or a bit of a misunderstanding?
You've probably had one of those moments while curled up in bed just about to fall asleep when you see a dark shadow out the corner of your eye and you jump straight out of your skin. Usually you can switch on the light, look around and deduce that it was just your mind playing tricks on you. But for this guy, he caught exactly what scared him senseless clear on camera.
Oh shit! Fuck, dude. Fuck, yeah. Nothing here. Nothing here. Oh my god, I'm so... Oh my god, look, legit goosebumps. Oh my god. What the fuck is that?
The room is so dark that it's difficult to make out any distinctive features aside from a small frame and some long hair. No idea what the family unit in this house is, so we can't say it wasn't one of the family members lurking in the back. Regardless, did this video give you goose pimples too? Let us know down below.
Have you ever seen something that made you do a genuine double take? If not, strap in, because this clip might make you look back so quick you give yourself whiplash. In the trees just behind the car, a figure appears to stroll along, crouch down and completely vanish from sight. Some commenters believe it's some kind of bird, but when you look closely, it resembles a humanoid figure with pale skin. Ryan seemed to look over in that direction quite a lot while circling the car. Whether that's because he saw someone he recognized, or something he did not, no idea. But the spookiest thing about this video is the audio. Listen to the birds in the background before and while the figure appears. Birds will quiet down when initially scared, and even the loudest rooster started making no noise at all when the figure began its walk through the trees. So what could this have been? A creepy stalker? A weird looking bird? A cryptid? Who knows?
Old asylums seem to be a top spot if you're looking for creepy paranormal experiences, and this one did not disappoint. Take a look.
Pay attention to the upper window on the left. Did you see that? Now, the people who took the video said that the building is locked up, the windows are too high to climb in, and the whole upper floor is collapsed. So, what is standing in this window?
Did you see that? The video is pretty short, but not short of eerie vibes, that's for sure. It was filmed at the Heartwood Asylum, a paranormal hotspot well known for multiple accounts of ghostly figures seen and heard running inside, day and night. According to the uploaders, they couldn't find a way to go inside, so they left, but not without one last video. That's when they captured what looks like a ghostly figure running away from the window. Sure, we could assume it to be just a homeless person trying to hide, but as it looks like the first floor is completely desolate, and they also mention it seemed pretty hard to climb up there without an open entrance. It's short, but the mysterious figure seems to be dressed in black with a pale face and hands or gloves. It's a strange, disturbing sight. Could this one be the real deal? Or did some real brave soul just get into that dangerous building just for a spooky video? People do anything for clout these days, after all. But what do you think? Let us know in the comments.
We all know how frustrating it is when someone keeps trying to get into the bathroom while you're in there, and it seems that this extends to the spirit world. because this invisible figure was not best pleased with being rushed.
Actividad paranormal.
¿Quién sos? Padre nuestro que estás en los cielos, santificado sea tu nombre. No sos bienvenido, andate. Andate. Me tenés cansado, mostrate. No te voy a tener miedo. ¿Quién sos?
The most interesting part of this video isn't the door handle, it's the shower curtain. Because as we know, doors are quite easy things to manipulate, believe it or not, and the fact that the guy turns the camera away from the door after it opened makes us a little sus. But what the hell was leaning against the shower curtain? We can't spot any jump cuts before he pulls it back, so unless he had some sort of tiny wind machine hidden in the shower, there had to be someone, or something, there. Looks like this guy interrupted the spectral shower time.
Padre nuestro que estás en los cielos, santificado sea tu nombre.
When we wander through the tranquil woods, we expect nothing more than rustling leaves and cheerful bird songs. But for this professional runner, nature had other plans in store. Take a look.
Pour la femme, j'espère que vous allez bien, moi ça par la grâce de Dieu. Je suis comme ça en train d'aller à l'école. Mais je pense que le professeur ne va pas venir aujourd'hui. Donc je retourne à la maison.
What started as the usual running video while filming himself for Instagram content quickly escalated into an adrenaline-fueled sprint, with someone intent on more than just photobombing. Sure, at first glance it might seem like the, let's call him, entity, was just a dude part of his content creation plan. But let's entertain some of the spine-chilling possibilities that many talked about in the comment section. What if it was something far more sinister lurking in the shadows? Like the elusive cryptids of folklore emerging from their hidden realms to terrify unsuspecting adventurers. Of course, someone mentioned the word skinwalker as usual these days, but others made a fair point. What if it is a tribe member with a peculiar taste for humans? Or perhaps it's the stuff of nightmares, the Tunge kid. Jokes aside though, who, or whatever it was, it certainly seems to have some pretty dark and deep eye sockets. And the arms, did you notice? They seem disproportional with the rest of his body. Longer than they should. That is, could it really be the nightmare fuel? We'll wait to hear your thoughts in the comment section.
Ever found yourself in a mind-bending, inexplicable situation that blurs the line between reality and fantasy? Well, one of our subscribers, Moonlight92, had one such experience and shared it with us on our Discord server. Here's the backstory. Back in 2010, she lived in a house which she, at the time, had no clue it was once a funeral home. Some weird, unexplainable things were happening in the house, but since she didn't believe in the paranormal, she always chalked it up to being normal. However, a couple of years later, after she'd moved to a new place, she found an old photo that seemed to hold the answers to years of unsolved mysteries. Take a look. This unexpected visitor crashes the sweet family moment by lurking ominously by the window. But this isn't your typical noisy neighbour. This photobomber appears to have a creepy, distorted face. Now, one might argue that it's just a curious onlooker peering through the glass, but the figure's distorted appearance suggests otherwise when compared to the other faces. Despite the grainy resolution typical of a 2010 photograph, the faces of the others are as clear as day, leaving us to wonder, Why does the third entity appear so hideous in comparison? Could we be missing something here? Let us know your thoughts and theories. But a huge shout out to Moonlight92 for sending this creepy picture on our Discord server.
In 2015, there was an investigation conducted in a home clinic in Japan, consisting of 2 separate buildings. The property was owned by a man named Matsu, who lived with his daughter Sayoku and his live-in worker Hirato. All was well until 1990, when a tragedy led Matsu to close the clinic. Hirato and Sayoku became good friends, and she would often visit his room by going up this death trap of a staircase. One night, she missed a step on her way back to the house. She fell and lost her life. When Matsu started closing the clinic down, racked with what we can only assume with his inner turmoil, Hirato took his own life in his room. Matsu reached out to Mr. Murguru to conduct an investigation and revealed that Hirato was acting extremely strange before his death, with the landlord convinced there was some kind of curse carried by the spirit of his daughter. Muragu set up some cameras and slept in one of the second floor rooms in the clinic. Come 2:30 AM, all hell started breaking loose. Muragu thought that Matsu had come to check on him, but found nobody in the clinic. But one thing struck him as odd as he crept through the dark rooms. Matsu had stipulated before the investigation that under no circumstances was Muragu to enter the main house until the morning. When filming was finished, he walked over to the main house to go and share his findings, which was when he stumbled upon this. Maybe that's why he didn't want him anywhere near the house. Muragu hauled ass out of there, compiled the findings and emailed it to Matsu, who believed the activity was Sayoku searching for Hirato. After that, the pair lost contact until Muragu received the tragic news 3 months later that Matsu had died of a heart failure. According to the neighbours who found him, he was chanting some kind of spell the whole way to the hospital until he passed. Muragu tried to keep from thinking about the house, but he couldn't get the image of the strange thing he had stumbled upon out of his head. With no real connection to the house, 8 years went by before Muragu was informed that somebody had purchased the property. After some back and forth, they agreed to let him back inside to investigate further. Muragu returned to the property and found that the portraits had been moved around and placed in a different location. He checked the faces of each portrait, and the two at the bottom were undeniably Sayuko and Hiroto. That night, he was awoken by some strange sounds. Footsteps trapezed up the staircase and something opened the door to Hiroto's old room, which is precisely what happened 8 years ago. After this, something toppled over in the portrait room, so Muragu went to have a look and unveiled something shocking. If all those portraits of the deceased that Matsu knew, who put his portrait and doll there? Nobody lived in the house after Matsu died in 2015. It seems like he prepared it all himself, because there was mysterious text slotted into his frame that read, "I sacrifice myself for Tonson-sama." The guys behind this video couldn't find anything regarding Tonson-sama, and neither could we. After another look, Meguru realised that this might have been Matsu's way of attempting to unite Sayuko and Hiroto in the afterlife. There is a culture of ghost marriages in Japan where dolls are used in rituals to represent the deceased. There are many ways for doors to be opened on their own, and even more ways for things to topple over that don't necessarily lead to the paranormal. But the ritual and the story behind it are so heartbreaking that it's hard to believe someone would fake it. To add insult to injury, a few months later, something even crazier happened. We can't say this accident is 100% related to the story. It could be a really unfortunate coincidence, but you've got to admit that it's strange. When this happened, Muragu was advised to seek advice from a psychic medium. The medium said possibly the scariest thing they could have said, that he should withdraw immediately because there was a kind of curse in the building. Muragu went back only once after he spoke with the medium to do one thing. Do you think this was just a tall tale of love and loss? Or are there real souls still drifting somberly through the clinic?
Being told off by your parents as a kid is bad enough. So what do you do when the family ghost gets to dig in as well?
Get a tissue. Don't yell like that. Look at me. First of all, don't raise your voice like that. Inappropriate. And see, now the ghost is very upset. Don't do that.
That and there's no ghost in here.
Well, that. I don't know.
That's the calmest reaction to paranormal antics we have ever seen.
Inappropriate. And see, now the ghost is very upset.
In all seriousness, we don't actually know what happened. The object that fell was teetering on the edge of the playhouse beforehand, so it could have just been unbalanced. Surprisingly, that didn't seem to bother the kid that much, which means one of two things. Either they have a very frantic poltergeist in the house and he's used to this kind of stuff, or nothing actually happened. The real question is whether or not he was really picking his nose. Do you remember some of the old nicknames family members used to call you? Most people hold on to them and remember them with love, and this woman is no exception. While recording a video talking to her daughter about her grandma, she heard her old nickname once more, except this time it wasn't from her grandma.
Oh! Was she, did you grandma almost couldn't walk?
She was old. She could walk, but she was old. Okay?
Mommy, your grandma's here. And she says, "Hi, Jamila."
What?
Your grandma's here. And she says, "Hi, Jamila."
At first glance, you might be asking what is even paranormal about this video, but if you look in the comments, she explains that she had never told her daughter what her old nickname was and that her grandma was the only one to use it.
"Hi, Jamila."
What?
And when her daughter was talking about her great-grandma, she kept glancing at the ceiling, as if she could see something. While we can't be sure of this clip's authenticity, for all we know, she could have told her daughter to say anything under the sun for a few views on Facebook. But would she do that? What do you think?
Who knew strange things could happen even in your freezers? Well, as it turns out, if your work colleagues believe the place is haunted, then there's always a chance it could actually be. This man found out the hard way after starting his new job. Take a look.
Freezers better not rest. Is there a light? Is there a light in here? And there's nothing in here. There's nothing, nobody, anything. It's just open.
According to them, every day around the same time, this freezer opens its door for no apparent reason. But not without violent knocks and strange noises coming from inside.
Freezers better not rest.
Next thing we know, the freezer's door blasts open, all on its own. The worker then walks in, explaining that he doesn't understand why this is happening, and reveals that no one is inside.
And there's nothing in here. There's nothing, nobody, anything. It's just open.
The playout leaves the strangest thoughts in your mind, doesn't it? Imagine if this is real proof of what paranormal investigators call residual energy, looping every single day. Maybe an angry spirit replaying its demise out to the living. But when you look deeper in the comments, you'll find a YouTube account called Airtight Online, who seems to have a better idea of what is going on. In their own words, "I fix this all the time. The refrigerator system goes into a defrost cycle, creating a positive pressure. Eventually, the pressure builds and opens the door. But hey, that doesn't explain the strange noises and loud bangs though." And to that logical explanation, there's also another user dropping some words that'll send a chill down your spine just by thinking about a slight chance of it being the case. I investigated this video closely. It seems that a spirit of a person had frozen to death in a freezer a long time ago, but his version of the scenario, he made it out. Imagine. Creepy, right?
Kids wander around touching all sorts of stuff they shouldn't be touching, and you can usually tell it was them by looking at those sticky little handprints. This is what YouTuber Skateboard Chris found on his drum cymbal, except he doesn't have any kids.
And just to be clear, there's no air, there's nothing on right now. Shut up. Can you move that again for me?
Those are freaking tiny.
The two-way recording is the freakiest thing, because while he could have attached some kind of wire to the symbol, how would he have cheated tiny child-sized handprints in the dust without us seeing anything? Unless something otherworldly did smack it. But alongside smacking the drums and leaving prints, this supposed spirit also enjoys fiddling with the Christmas decorations. One thing that never lies is the reaction of an animal, and both those dogs were not happy. How did the picture shift so smoothly? After months of this sort of activity running rampant, he managed to finally capture some ghostly audio. Listen real close, it sounds like a kid talking. According to Chris's wife, she thought it said, "Hey Chris." Is this the tiny ghostly perpetrator who touched the drums? Probably, considering in this next clip it appeared to be looking for games on Chris's phone. This is creepy, but for argument's sake, if this video is real, the signs are leaning towards this being the playful spirit of a child. This is further justified by the next clip, because what do kids love to do on chairs? Swing on them. And that's exactly what he caught. When he went to watch the footage from a different camera angle, it came up with an error message, even though he said his internet was working fine at the time. This could happen for any number of reasons, but it's especially spooky considering all the other activity in the house. And it doesn't stop there, not even the dogs are safe. He checked, and there was nothing sharp that he could have sat on. While he always could have just sat down funny and put pressure on his leg or something, you can't deny that it looks like something pulled his back end. With the whole house seemingly under the rule of a terrifying ghostly toddler, Chris wants nothing more than to be able to kick back and relax. But in a house with kids, real or metaphysical, that's never an option. We featured Chris on the channel last year, but that was before he posted pictures of the house. Pictures he found online, took before he bought it. And boy, did it make some sense. Maybe the family before were just really religious, but they were doing that out of a love for Christianity. Or were all the crucifixes a desperate attempt to ward off whatever spirits Chris is now dealing with? If it is the latter, he should probably follow in their footsteps, because something keeps on messing with all his house cams.
I don't know what to do, y'all.
Ready to connect.
This is all it keeps doing. I try to connect him. What are you doing, Dougie? What you doing up there? But yeah, this is all it keeps doing. I've been trying to get it connected and stuff, but it won't do anything.
Again, camera issues are pretty common, but he says he used to be an electric service and product manager, so he knows how to fix tech, and nothing is working. So, what keeps shutting them down? It's a pretty widespread theory that spirits can mess with video and audio interfaces. Could that be what's happening here? After another few ghostly experiences,
The camera's not working. It just won't. When it says there's a video or motion, when I go to view the video, it's just a black screen, so I don't know what to.
Chris decided to do the one thing he almost definitely shouldn't have done and whipped out a Ouija board, and he ended up catching even more EVP audio amongst some disembodied tapping.
I heard it, but I didn't see it. I still hear it. Everybody's like, oh, it's the hutch. It's the hutch.
If you look at the tripod, there's a cord wrapped around the top that is swinging and bashing against it, causing the tapping noise. How could it be swinging that hard when nobody was even close to it? And what knocked it over?
Hutch.
The audio is what takes the cake with this though. Have a good listen.
Everybody's like, oh, it's the hutch. It's the hutch.
Quite a few commenters said that they heard the words "get out" whispered. But what did you hear? After that, Chris fell on hard times and went to stay at his parents' house. But it looks like something followed him.
That's a nice pickup there on second down, and now they again are keeping these third downs into manageable distances where that playbook.
Dogs are as much cute as they are weird, and sometimes do things we can't explain. But the fact she's looking directly at the mural suggests she sees something we don't. Did the spirit in his home latch onto him? Or is there another spirit lurking in his parents' house, waiting for him to start recording? Chris has captured plenty of brilliant paranormal footage over the years, so check out his channel, Skateboard Chris, on YouTube to watch it all.
Sometimes, strange, unexplainable things can also be caught in broad daylight, like this video you're about to watch. Take a look.
Is this a glitch in the Matrix? This mountain appears to have the shadow of a cloud over it, but panning up to the sky, there isn't a single cloud in sight. The person filming is confused at what they see.
See that shadow? Where are the clouds?
This lady noticed a shadow on top of a mountain, which no apparent source in sight. I know what you might be thinking. It's a next generation military grade cloak mechanism masking an aircraft. But what if it was something more interplanetary, like a spaceship stealthily dropping by for some reconnaissance mission? While both instances might sound exciting and somewhat plausible for sci-fi fans, there's also a chance that she faked it for a bit of social media clout. Anything is possible, right? She did show us the entire sky surrounding the shadow, which is pretty creepy, must admit. But if you think that was scary, brace yourself for the next phenomenon on the menu, as deadly as it is captivating. It looked like Mother Nature was trying to be creative with the weapon of destruction, maybe trying to allure people into their doom. This is probably the most attractive tornado you'll see today, that's for sure.
With a name like this, it's easy to see why the Blackbird Forest has been the subject of many folklore and tales of ghostly sightings.
Hello?
Paradox Fork.
So when people go up there for camping or hiking, they are trapped with a sensation of dread and a feeling of being watched. Of the many areas laden with fear and unspeakable horror, a particular camping area is secluded from the rest, commonly used for deer hunting groups to station during their expeditions. This area sits far away from any other sites or park services and is called Site B08. On his night alone at Site B08, this camper captured something on camera that would forever change his perspective about the place. Here's what was caught. As he was enjoying the peaceful breeze between the trees and cricket sounds, he heard something more than an owl's hoot. He heard twigs snapping, which is never a good sign when camping alone at stupid o'clock. He described it as feeling like he had an unseen companion lurking in the shadows, so he started filming for a good number of minutes. You missed it? Don't worry, it's pretty hard to spot, so let's slow it down and zoom in. You can clearly see the reflection of eyes as he pans the camera across the landscape. But as fast as it appeared, it vanished into the darkness of the night as it ducked out of view. And as soon as he reviewed the video and saw those eyes, he darted out of there. Was it a bear? Why the hell would a bear be there and not attacking him? Also, how did it manage to vanish into thin air? Or perhaps the unfortunate souls of the many who decided to take their last breaths in that haunted forest still linger around Site B08. What are your thoughts on this one? Let us know.
You usually take a look at the mountain landscape on a long drive to drink in the beauty of nature, but this guy only saw something looming on the mountain top.
What is it? It's a person, dude. No, seriously, pull over, pull over. There's a person standing there.
No, it's not.
Dude, if you've seen what I've seen right now.
If you compare it to the size of the trees, the mountain, and the camera zoom, this figure must have been huge. Through the comments on this video, we were able to find the accounts that the clip initially came from, a guy called Andrew Dawson. When that video blew up, he took a few trips back to the same spot, and to his horror, the figure had moved. Could it have been an alien a UFO picked up? Was it some kind of military experiment? Well, maybe not. A few months after he posted all of these clips, he came out with a TikTok which explained everything, or did it? Before we dive deeper into what happened next, let's watch this one, but be sure to keep an eye on his body language.
Hey guys, I just want to give you an update. I'm not dead. I have not disappeared. I had just been busy with life. I couldn't get around to posting and updating you guys, so now I'm going to give you an official update of what's been going on. Sorry to disappoint you guys, but all of the videos that I posted were scripted. They're just fake. They were just strictly for entertainment. I'm sorry to disappoint you guys. I just needed to give you a quick update.
That's some pretty damning evidence that this video was faked, right? Well, scripting the videos is pretty straightforward, but how did he create the giants on the mountain? Usually, we would call this a case closed, but he posted a very strange video 10 days later.
You might not see me post ever again. My videos weren't fake.
The caption is even more interesting, saying, "Too much has happened and I can't be forced to be silent." Which makes this spookier is that he did mention he was stopped by the CIA while attempting to record.
I just got stopped by like some CIA agent. He told me to turn around, said I'm trespassing. I said it's a public area, like a public park or whatever. Some local told me to take this path. I didn't get it on camera, but I'm going to go again tomorrow and be prepared to be filming right now because he stopped the vehicle. His truck was blocking it. Said some like environmental issue was going on. I don't know. He told me to go back and said I was trespassing. I don't get it. It was awkward, but I'm going back again tomorrow to see if he's not there. But if he is there, I will keep a camera. I will film because the only angle I could get that I found today is the one I just posted earlier, and there wasn't even anything there. But I don't understand why the road's blocked off. I don't know.
Could Andrew have been forced to say the videos were faked by the CIA? He hasn't posted in over a year on his once busy account. Also, on another mountain, a family caught this. Not exactly the thing you want to see the most in the middle of your family hike. You could put it down to a trick of the eye, but what if it isn't? What if the powerful are really trying to hide the evidence while silencing whoever stumbles upon it? Food for thought.
Animals can be extremely temperamental and sensitive at the best of times.
A laughing horse.
Especially when there's ancient Brazilian folklore character jumping around behind them. Take a look at these horses losing their minds and we'll explain a bit further. As difficult as it is to ignore the star of the show, let's pay the pony with the tire on his head no mind and focus our attention on the back of the enclosure. If you missed it, don't worry, it's quite hard to spot. So let's slow it down and zoom in. Did you see it? A solitary black figure hops past and vanishes into the shadows before the horses lose it and jump the fence. This could be the shadow of anything really, because we don't have any surrounding shots aside from the enclosure head on. But there is a spirit in Brazilian folklore that seems to fit the bill here. Saki is described as a black, one-legged being who hops around, wears a red cap and revels in causing mischief. Some of the things he is more infamous for is the dulling of sewing needles, the souring of otherwise fresh milk, and more relevantly, the disturbance of animal life within communities. Many people in the comments of this TikTok truly believe this being to be that of Saki, claiming that they have seen him multiple times throughout their child and adulthood. We can't spot a red cap anywhere, which is possibly Saki's most noticeable feature. but we can see that it's a hopping black figure disturbing animal life. Do you know much about Brazilian folklore? If so, can you tell us anything about this clip? Do you think it's proof the Saki exists? Or is there a more reasonable explanation for this? One of the most mundanely spooky things in the world is the space that lurks between our cupboards and walls. You never know what could be hiding there. While it's usually just a mixture of dust bunnies and sheer paranoia for most, this kid realised he wasn't so lucky when he recorded this scary video in his bedroom. That looks like a mass of long, black hair. Unless he's house sharing with Samara from The Ring, there's something bizarre going on here. We don't get a good look behind the cupboard, even when he pulls it away from the wall. But it's pretty clear that there was nowhere near enough space for a head to fit in that tiny gap. Did he just accidentally manage to capture one of the best pieces of footage featuring ghostly apparitions on camera? Or could this be a well-edited, spooky-wooky video? Either way, I bet you would have jumped out of your skin if you caught that too.
Ghost hunters IPRA Strong are on their next expedition, searching for communication with the unknown. However, this time they are met with way more than they bargained for.
Can you tell me your name? Mike, what did you do here, Mike? Bartend? Is that what he said? Speak nice and loud for me, Mike. Chill? How many spirits are we talking to? Can you tell us the name of the owner, the current owner of the building? Said Brian, clear as day. Clear as day.
Skrilla Park in Illinois is where everything happens. Well prepared with their paranormal communication devices, they decided to investigate a haunted bar and restaurant, The Great Escape. They captured many great EVPs that night, but one of them left a mark on their minds forever, not just because of the EVP itself, but because of what the camera also captured. Take a look.
Is there a little girl here? In the bathroom? Are there any women in here with me?
Did you spot that? Straight after the chilling EVP of what they believe to be a little girl's ghost saying, "Get me help." Behind the bathroom door, we can see a shadow figure peeking through the gap. The kicker here is the fact that when they first arrived, the evening bartender gave them a photograph.
Bartender Tammy shared an eerie photo with us that was taken by a frequent customer. The customer had witnessed a shadow figure, so we snapped a photo and managed to capture this creepy image on camera.
Apparently, one of their customers took it after witnessing a shadow figure outside the ladies' bathroom. It does look like a young girl from another time with the way she's dressed, but could this be the little girl asking for help in the bathroom that night? A spirit beyond trapped in the building forever? And could that be the shadow figure of that girl? Or are our eyes playing tricks on us all? Let us know what you think about this one in the comments.
Being an astronomer, you could find all sorts in outer space. It could be alien life, several new galaxies, or weird red lights. At least that's what this amateur astronomer discovered traversing the surface of the moon.
Over on the They Did the Math subreddit, they figured out that if this object were real, it would measure 33 miles across and could be moving at over 118,000 miles per hour across the surface of the moon. And last time we checked, there weren't any glowing red satellites shaped like pyramids circling the moon. Although as creepy as it looks at first glance, some suspicious things about it might leave you questioning the authenticity of this phenomenon. Another amateur astronomer mentioned that the actual video itself doesn't make sense since the moon was in its 50% phase. But there were no shadows in the craters as if the moon was in its full phase. The frame rate of the red light and the atmospheric haze is also completely mismatched according to another amateur astronomer. The red light has a clean edge and is nowhere near as pixelated as the rest of the video. There is also one more elephant in the room. Millions of people, including NASA themselves, monitor the moon every day like clockwork. Surely, if this video were truly showing some kind of alien spacecraft, this video would have been all over the news and we would all know about it. However, this video was also reported on multiple other subreddits where many left comments saying how shocked they were with how real this footage looks. But what is your take on this one? Is this a little bit of video manipulation? Or are we seeing 2001: A Space Odyssey playing out in real life?
I'm half crazy.
It was late at night when the CCTV at this mall captured something that left many scratching their heads for answers. It is well past closing time, and no one or thing should be seen moving around at that time of the night. But the cameras did anyway. Here's what was caught. What could have made the toy move around like that, as if its tyres had been set on an angle and released? What could have left the batteries in? On the flip side, could it have been a ghostly child going for a ride with no one supposedly watching? Granted, the potato quality video makes it hard to spot any trickery, but is it hard to know for sure what we might be dealing with here? Especially how it coincidentally never hit the wall, perfectly driving in circles. This is certainly a weird piece of footage, but is it paranormal? What do you think?
With the night at its absolute quietest, this Filipino biker ended up in hospital after a minor incident, just for a quick check, or so he thought, because it took ages to be seen. Bored and with very little to do, he decided to record a video for his girlfriend to show how empty the hospital was at that time. Little did he know that he'd capture way more than just empty beds and a sparkly clean floor. When his girlfriend got back to him, asking him to stop playing jokes, he didn't get it at first, but as he watched the footage back, it quickly became a bone-chilling realization that would haunt his dreams for nights to come. He wasn't really alone after all. Take a look. Whose feet are those? What started as a fun, cheery video took a dark turn into a horrifying experience that left many scratching their heads for answers. The feet in the video appeared to be those of a pale white ghostly figure, but where did she vanish? Adding to the chilling mystery is the fact that the feet looked faded or white. Could it be the ghost of somebody who passed away in that hospital? Or a neatly done jump cut? What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments below.
On the list of places people would say first when they think of the word haunted, a Subway takeaway would probably be pretty damn low, but that might change after you see this creepy video.
Subway at Memorial Hospital, and there's been reports of ghost activity. Maybe we'll get lucky and capture a ghost. It's ghost of a little girl. Oh my god, there she was.
What the hell was that? The video being taken in a desolate hospital cafeteria ups the creepy points. The figure looks human in shape when you slow down. You can even see its arms moving as it sprints past. However, with no real background to delve into other than the guys mentioning reports of paranormal activity, the trail goes cold. Nothing has been posted on this YouTube channel for over 10 years, and we also have no idea which hospital this is. So we can't even look into the claims that this subway has multiple sightings of what the video claims is the ghost of a little girl. Has Subway started employing speedy ghost runners? Or was someone getting fancy with video editing? Let us know your thoughts.
We all know ghosts are rumoured to move in ways inconceivable to the naked eye, but we never knew they were able to break the speed of sound. That was until this scary video was posted on TikTok. No idea who the original poster is, but we can derive some information just from the video alone. The figure is almost comical. Some comments even mention it probably forgot something from the shops and was speed walking back to grab it. The shadow looks like a person waddling, but it looks artificially sped up, almost as if someone edited the video. However, what makes this piece of paranormal evidence so unsettling is the fact that, if you look at the time in the top corner, it is moving at its regular pace and the person is recording with their phone directly from the CCTV software, reducing the chances of some cheeky edits. But for the skeptics among us, how do you explain those weird, unnaturally jerky movements? Do we put it down to clever editing and video overlay, or does the late night shopping trip extend to the world of the supernatural? Let us know in the comments.
Hey, here's a playlist full of creepy stuff caught on camera for you to enjoy. Don't forget to bump the like button, subscribe, and click the bell icon to avoid missing our weekly SPOOKFEST. Thanks for watching. Stay in the dark.